plenty of mental and emotional challenges faced by everyone. Today, on the Bomberos on Fire podcast, we delve deep into the heart of this issue. My name is Armando, and today we're shedding light on a topic that's close to our heart: mental health. Not just in the firefighting community, but also to everyone else, because everyone has a bone in this fight. It's a conversation that's long overdue. We'll be discussing the unique challenge we face, sharing personal stories, and exploring ways to improve our mental well-being. With insights from experts, personal testimony, and actionable strategies, we aim to ignite a conversation that can make a difference. Because just as we fight fires, take care of people, and work in a stressful environment, we must also combat the internal struggles that many of us face. This is not just for firefighters, but everyone else living on this planet. Together, we can build a community of support, understanding, and healing. Join us as we journey through the art of conversation, seeking light and hope for everyone. Be safe. Welcome.
Welcome back, my audience, my people, to a Bomberos on Fire podcast. My name is Armando, and today I got a really special guest. People will say, "What are you doing?" Because some stuff doesn't relate to the podcast, but I think it's for me and the people interested in this amazing culture, amazing country. And we found the link, if you can, or the bridge between us and Japan. I'm here with Mr. Christopher. He works in the Japanese Consulate in Miami. Chris, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is my first podcast, so should be a lot of fun. Like you said, my name is Chris Bricky. I'm the JEP program coordinator at the Japanese Consulate in Miami. So for those of you who don't know what the JEP program is, it's a way for college graduates to go over to Japan and either teach English or work in like city hall, town hall, that kind of stuff. And it's a great opportunity to go out and, see Japan. And I did it myself for 4 years, had a lot of fun. So I thought, what better way to kind of give back than to do the same kind of thing, to be the one on the opposite side, to be the one helping people to get to Japan instead of the one going to Japan. So that's what I do right now. That's my main job, and some other responsibilities as well. But that's kind of what I mainly do. But it's been a lot of fun and really gratifying job.
Oh, I bet it's awesome. You are taking somebody who's in college, right? Who's just starting to see life, starting to realize, hey, maybe something else outside the world, to Japan, which is a whole completely different world, different culture. I mean, language, everything, and that opened your eyes. I myself, I came from Venezuela, and to me, coming to the U.S. was like a different planet.
Right.
So different.
Yeah, I mean, and for a lot of kids, this is their first like real job. So not only you've got your first real responsibilities, but you're doing it in a totally foreign environment. Some people don't even know the language, so like I commend these people for going out there and stepping outside of their comfort zone to do this. It takes a special kind of person to really go out and seek this kind of opportunity. So, it's a great thing, awesome. I think.
That's awesome, bro. I mean, to be honest, that's awesome. Like the communication, and I got a question. How did you got into that position? From obviously you went to Japan. How did you got into that?
Okay, yeah. So I was there from 2016 to 2020, and I was in this, the city. It was called Kochi. It's in Shikoku. So that's the smallest of the 4 main islands. And I just happened to meet. I made friends with who ended up being my predecessor in my position. So like we became friends there, and she left before I did. So she was already, she'd been doing this job for a couple of years when I got back to the States. And one day she just ended up like messaging me saying, hey, I'm going to be leaving this position. So I think you'd be a great person to fill this role, because she knew that I didn't have a job at the moment. I was kind of that's when COVID was kind of really big. So I was,
I know.
I was taking a little bit of a break from the real world and seeing if that was going to die down. So in the meantime, I didn't really have anything going for me, and it was all about making those connections, and you never know when when you're going to really benefit from those. So yeah, that's kind of how I became how I got this job.
It's awesome. It's so true. The connections, you never know. Like, I met you in a Japanese event in Florida, Kissimmee, which people don't know. Kissimmee is majority Spanish people. It's all Spanish, Puerto Ricans, Venezuelan, Cubans, you name it. And it was a Japanese event in the middle of the place, which is awesome. And I'm a huge fan of Japanese culture. Growing up, it started with anime, and then I tried to learn Japanese, and I was horrible on it. I even tried to write it, and like, nah, I can't do that shit right now.
Yeah.
And life took me to different path, but yeah, is awesome. And what were you doing before you got into the embassy, or before you went to Japan the first time as a student or as a worker? What were you doing before that?
Yeah. So as I said, most people who go into jet are doing like straight out of college. But I took a bit of a different path. So I actually got my bachelor's in like 2007, and I decided to go out and make some money, pay the bills, stuff like that. I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, I got my degree in international studies, so like I wanted to do something outside of the U.S., but I still hadn't really made up my mind the specifics. So I had a friend who worked at a credit union that I happened to bank at, and started working with him, and then did that for a couple of years. Realized that finance isn't really where I wanted to be, so I went to a call center for a couple of years and did that. And it wasn't as bad as most call center like horror stories.
Yeah.
I didn't have to deal with like customers. It was all so I worked for a security company. So we were the ones who were talking to the field reps who were making the sales, and we would kind of set up the installation dates and all that stuff, put their info into the system. So it wasn't too bad, but like there was no like upward growth for me. I didn't see that being like somewhere I wanted to take my career in the long run. So I realized, like, sure, I had a bachelor's, but nowadays that really doesn't get you much, like as much as it used to get you. So I thought, okay, let me get my master's. And I had always been kind of playing around with the idea of doing something Japan related. Like, I had a lot of friends in undergrad who were real, I guess, weebs for lack of a better word. And one friend had done the JET program herself, and so like I kind of decided to go that direction. So I went back to school, got my master's in Asian studies, took a couple of classes of or a couple of years of Japanese as well, and I applied from there. So by the time I actually started, my position on the JET program, I was like 30 years old, I think. Okay. So I was, a little bit older than your traditional JET program applicant.
Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. That's a different path for real.
Right.
That's a whole different path. Yeah, there's too many ways to get to Rome, and I mean, I see that. That's awesome. And I got a question. What motivate people, or when you interview the students before go to Japan? What is the motivation for them to go to Japan?
Yeah, so there's really two main motivations. One is the people who want to pursue some kind of teaching career in the future, and they also have an interest in Japan or like Asian cultures. So this is a way for them to get some good experience, get some teaching experience, as well as kind of scratch that itch for going out and seeing the world. And then I would say the other half is those who maybe want to do something more in the Japan sphere, but kind of the easiest way to get over to Japan is through teaching. So that was actually my motivation for going over, was I wanted to learn Japanese, and what better way than being in the thick of things, like being in a
Yeah.
Japanese-speaking country. So
Yeah.
I knew that I didn't want to pursue like teaching as a career, but I had no problem with it. Like I had a lot of fun being a teacher, but my motivation was definitely on the Japan side. So that's the kind of the two main reasons I would say why people decide to do this.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense that, I mean, get involved into that culture, and in your case, you just basically went inside the middle of the wolf and just, let's do this.
Right,
Which is
yeah.
crazy, which is awesome. It's awesome. I was recently in Poland, and I was teaching some firefighters because I teach how to save a downed fireman in a fire. And I went to Poland for almost 2 weeks, and it was immersed on the culture. They don't speak any English. I have to use Google Translate. It's great. It's just to see how similar we are. Besides, the obvious language and culture, but we all similar. And since you've been there and you're so involved with the Japanese culture, what are the similarities that we have between the U.S. and Japan? Because we know the difference, obviously, but
Yeah.
what's the thing that put us together?
Similarities. I mean, that's kind of difficult, I think. I mean, in the end, like we're all human beings. Like we're
Yeah.
so Japan, is more collectivist, whereas we're more independent in the U.S. But at the end, like we all want to see each other do well. So I think it's just about being a human, really. But yeah, culture wise, like I mean, like Japan has taken a lot of stuff from the U.S., whether it's like the architecture, or whether it's
Okay.
like
Movies,
what would be,
probably.
yeah, movie, like music, movies, that kind of stuff. So
Got it.
yeah, I guess that's the best way I can think of as to how like the cultures are similar.
Yeah.
They take in a lot of words. They have a lot of loan words that they use, and it seems like every day, like
Really?
there's a new word that they've got their Japanese way to say it, and then they've kind of changed it to use the English word, or like a foreign word.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like for example, I'm trying to think of a word that there's like a Japanese form for it, but they use English now. And like I can't think of anything. I actually just saw like a short little video. I think it was on Facebook or something, about a girl and her grandmother like saying the same word, but like the girl would use the more
English
popular
word.
way to say the word now, exactly,
Yeah.
English word, and a grandma would say what it is in like Japanese. So yeah,
Oh,
it feels
wow.
like they're just taking more and more words from the outside and making it their own.
Okay. Yeah, I read a lot about Japan. I see a lot of videos of Japan, and I know they welcome the foreigners, but they're not like wide open arms. Hey, come on, people, everybody, come on to Japan. I know their culture is kind of close. How do that works over there? Because you don't look Japanese, and neither I. But
Yeah, I mean, I think,
how was your experience for you?
yeah, for me it was great. Like I never felt like I was being seen as a dirty foreigner, or never welcomed. Because despite being 6'2" or whatever, bunch of tattoos, shaved head, um, I never had anybody like on the run away from me, or nobody like
Yeah.
cussing me out saying go back to the U.S. or whatever. Everyone was like, it might have also been a product of where I was, because it was a smaller town.
Okay.
So maybe they were less used to seeing foreigners, and they were more just happy that someone would decide to go to their neck of the woods and
Okay.
and live there, really. So I mean, yeah, I felt like I was welcomed everywhere I went.
Oh,
But
nice.
I've definitely heard stories of people who they go into a restaurant or a bar or something, and they the somebody in there would say, no English or no foreigner, stuff like that. Which I think in the vast majority of cases, it's just because they don't know how to speak English and they don't want to have any miscommunication because of the language difference. So
Okay.
it's not from a point of like disliking somebody. It's just kind of they want
To avoid
to
the hustle.
exactly. They want to play it safe, avoid any potential, like I said, misunderstandings, and just make things
Yeah,
simpler.
because the culture is really about respect and dedication and discipline.
Right.
And I know that they take pride of whatever they do. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be picking up the trash. It could be doing a computer. Is dedication 100%.
Right.
So
right.
I can see that coming from Japan. Like, yeah, I don't want to deal with you because I don't want to offend you. So get out of my restaurant.
Right. Respectively, please get out.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's
I think
crazy, man.
as long as you go there, do some research first. Like, make sure you don't accidentally, make a major faux pas, and just come from a place of understanding and having an open mind. And I think you'll have a great time wherever you go in Japan.
Yeah, and by the way, I have to talk about tattoos because I got one. I got tattoos too. How do they? Because I know they're not that open to tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these sleeve. I don't know if you had them when you were in Japan. Well, how was the people looking at you? How was that? Because I know I see a lot of videos of Japanese people now finally start to accepting tats, and you got both sleeves.
right. Yeah, like there were some. So first of all, like I never had anybody with a negative reaction to my tattoos.
Okay.
I found a tattoo artist in my town and got a tattoo
Oh,
while I
no
was
way.
there. Yeah. So I wanted
That's
something
cool.
I wanted something to like kind of commemorate my time in that city. And so this is it's called a Naruko. It's like a wooden clapper. And there's a festival called Yosakoi that originated in Kochi. So that was, and I also I was able to participate in that 1 year. So I wanted something, that was really screamed. If somebody saw this, they would know what it was. They would know, okay, this is Kochi. So it was either
Okay.
like this or like a fish or
Oh yeah.
a famous samurai who came out of Kochi. But
Okay.
I chose this, and so yeah, like people, especially if they saw this, they would like freak out, like, "Oh my god, that's awesome that you got a tattoo of our, our Naruto
Yeah.
on your arm."
A
But yeah,
culture of the identity.
I always had great interactions with my tattoos. Now, when it came to working at the schools, I had to have them covered just because that was, something you got to do. It's gonna, it could.
Yeah.
It could just distract the students during class, so you just want to make sure that you don't have to worry about that. And there were a couple times that I went to like the hot springs or onsens, and I couldn't go because it said, no tattoos. But I know there are plenty of those in Japan that allow tattoos. And
Okay.
I know as kind of a lead up to what was supposed to be the 2020 Olympics, they were trying to to be more like accepting of tattoos and stuff. I don't know how far that actually went, because we didn't get to really things didn't go according to plan for the Olympics. But
At all.
yeah, I think I think that Japan is becoming more tattoo friendly. It just might be a while before it's like totally fine everywhere.
Like in the U.S., for example.
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. I think over half the Americans have at least one tattoo.
Yeah, and what my field is firefighter. So we all have tattoos. We have neck tattoo. I mean, so that's normal now. But I know a couple years ago it was taboo. Don't do that long sleeve all day, and not too hot to be in a fire with that long sleeve.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's awesome. And you left Japan just when COVID started, right? Just when the craziness started.
Yeah, I left.
You were lucky.
Yeah, June of 2020. So, yeah, I was actually supposed to leave in July because like So I was there for 4 years, and the max is 5 years. And 4 years, I felt like that was pretty good. But then COVID came, so I was like, all right, I need to get back to my parents and my family in case something happens. Like if the
Yeah.
borders close and I missed my shot, I missed the window, and I've got to stay in Japan during this pandemic. I didn't want to have to worry about that, so I went back a little bit early, and I pretty much just like chilled at my parents' place for the next year or so. Just I had some money saved up, so I didn't need to worry about that. But just kind of hoping it was going to die down, and it didn't die down as fast as I would have liked. But
Oh yeah, trust me, I felt it, and I was outside in the streets. I felt that one.
Yeah,
it was scary moments for everybody at the beginning.
Right.
And then everything went to politics, basically.
Yeah.
At the end of all this craziness.
Yeah.
But man,
that's how it's like it's kind of like the new flu. So we're going to see COVID kind of outbreaks every year, I think.
Yeah, it's true. Every year they got a new vaccine.
Yeah.
But and how about the food? Because it's different. I mean, coming from here, barbecue, burgers. The most you get Japanese is sushi from 7-Eleven. If you don't want to be fancy.
Right.
How was the food over there?
Yeah, food was awesome. It really spoiled me for coming back to the U.S. At least the Japanese food, because we were on a coastal town, so we got the freshest seafood. I got to try a lot of foods that I would have never had the chance to try in the U.S. or not been brave enough to try in the U.S. So fugu, the puffer fish.
Do you try that one? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have actual a license to be able to serve it, to be able to properly prepare it.
Yes.
But I hear nowadays that they've got a lot of farm grown blowfish that don't have the toxin sacs in them anymore.
Okay.
So they're much less dangerous. At least those ones are. I had chicken sashimi, so raw chicken, which actually tasted really
raw
good.
Chicken.
Yeah. It was really, I don't know how they prepared it, but it was the texture was nothing that I would have imagined. And I didn't feel scared or at all to try it because I knew that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they'll prepare it.
In the U.S., I don't think I'd want to try it in the U.S. I'd be too afraid.
Oh my God, I couldn't even try. Yeah, one of the guys was doing a barbecue the other day at the station, and they got the pink chicken, and oh man, that was horrible. We used to toss in the trash and milk it on the microwave. It was just bad.
Yeah,
but that's weird. Raw chicken. I ate raw meat when I was in Poland, but that was beef. That was not too bad, but chicken, I don't know.
Yeah, beef tartare, I guess.
Yes, that one. The tartare.
Yeah. So I had various parts of the animals that I wouldn't have probably wanted to try in the U.S. But on the other hand, sure, the Japanese food is great, but there was less of a in the U.S. Especially in Miami and something. You can find whatever kind of food you want. If you want Mexican, if you want Korean, there's a place you can eat it. But where I was, at least, I was constantly craving some good Mexican food, and I just couldn't find it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
You want Korean barbecue? You got that. You want Indian food? We got that. Chinese food? No problem. But if I wanted German food or Mexican food, if I wanted a taco, I'd have to buy the ingredients myself and just make it myself because there wasn't that kind of cuisine where I lived.
No way.
Yeah.
So it would be a good business to put a Mexican restaurant down in Japan over there.
Yeah,
not that many.
I've been following some social media lately, and there is a guy who has a Mexican food truck in my town. So I think they're starting to realize what they've been missing
for so many years.
Yeah, exactly. But it was the food scene was awesome, and there's a lot of things that I really miss.
Oh, I bet. And talking about stuff that you miss, will you go back and live in Japan eventually, or retire over there, or I know you will visit it. That's a given. But like
Yeah.
retire and permanent there.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm actually I'm applying to the JET program again this year. So
Okay. Oh,
I'm hopefully going to be going back. Sorry, going to be going back next year. So yeah, kind of a short little background. There's two main positions in the JET program. You got the teachers, and you've got the coordinators for international relations. So the teachers, like that's what I did before. You teach, elementary, middle school, high school. But the coordinators, like you need to know Japanese because you're going to be working for city hall, town hall, like the government. So you're going to be using
oh wow.
Japanese like in your daily work. So I wanted to, to try that and really like get my Japanese up. Not only your everyday Japanese, but like business Japanese because they've got like a bunch of different uh, like ways to speak and different words that you use only in business settings. So it's a whole different kind of Japanese, really.
Oh
Um,
really?
yeah. So yeah, I'm actually applied again this year. So hopefully next July August I'll be going right back over to Japan. And
Awesome, man. Good luck. I
yeah,
wish you
thanks.
the best. Hope you get it.
Yeah, and
Hope you get it.
next time might be for good. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of opportunities get come my way.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Hey, maybe one day we can do a podcast in Japan.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
I do want to visit.
I'm totally down. Yeah, I told my friends, and family and stuff when I was there the last time, come on whenever, and I'll take the time off and I'll show you around. We'll do the obvious, Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, that kind of stuff. But come
Yeah.
down to where I live, and I'll show you a side of Japan that most visitors never see.
Yeah, because we all want to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
We went the first time. That's a given. Tokyo, walk around, see the district, the manga district or the anime district. I forgot how to even the name of that.
It's like Akihabara.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got so many things I would like to go see. like I told you, my girls love the Hello Kitty theme park that's built in Tokyo.
Yeah.
They have the Universal Studios. They got the Disney. They got. I mean, it's Americanized, but it's still. I think the Mario will be the main one. I would like to go just because it's freaking Japan. They created Mario.
A huge Gundam, towering over everyone, and I forget what part of the town that is. Yeah.
Yeah, the big or drive Mario Karts in the middle of Tokyo.
Exactly.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I still haven't done that. Yeah, but it sounds like a lot of fun.
That's in your checkout list.
Exactly.
At some point you'll do it.
List. Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about business, how is because we all, or at least in my experience, hear about the Japanese business culture is rough. If you don't used to work, don't even try. Actually, I was watching an anime on Netflix. It's about a guy who works in the business, and it's a zombie apocalypse, and he's so happy 100. That everybody died. Yes, that one. He's so happy that everybody died.
Yeah. I mean, the Japanese, like working on the Japanese workforce can definitely be like very oppressive. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, I know that like actually the government's really working on trying to fix that, like making people use their vacation days because otherwise they just wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah, making sure they don't have all this overtime because you've got this word, karoshi, which means death by overwork. So
yes, I heard that.
Yeah, people are like
that's
just
crazy, running
themselves thin, running themselves ragged, doing all this overtime. So it's definitely a thing that is still a problem, unfortunately. But I think it's slowly like getting better.
They're working on it.
Yeah, like a lot of they've got they're famous for having like drinking parties where everyone gets together and has a few beers after work. That it seems like a lot of fun, but it's kind of like it's a mandatory fun, really. If your boss goes, like you're expected to go as well. And so not only are you with your coworkers doing work, then you've got to stay even later, 8, 9, 10 p.m., doing work activities, and then
Oh my God.
getting a few hours of sleep and doing the same thing the next day. So
I didn't know that was like kind of mandatory. I really wasn't expecting that.
yeah, I
It's
mean, like technically, like
kind
you
of.
could
Yeah.
say no, but there's so much kind of unsaid pressure. So
Yeah, you won't.
yeah,
You won't say no, even if you want to. You're like, all right, I have to go.
exactly. Yeah, you want to be part of the team, so you do what
Exactly.
you have to.
It's a team mentality in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a community mentality in that aspect. Everything they do
Exactly.
is community mentality, which is good. But when it's extreme, is slow down, bro.
Yeah, anything taken to an extreme can be bad. So that's kind of
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I think it's getting better, slowly but surely.
Gotcha. And how about because I'm curious too, because you know more culture, the dating in Japan. Because I heard that they're having trouble. I mean, getting couples together. The government is trying to push that because they don't have that many babies. I mean, how's that over there? Especially you being a foreigner, freaking 6 tall, bald guy tats.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're definitely like they have a declining birth rate, and that's a real problem. Because I think now like more people are focused on their career as they're younger, so they're prioritizing their career over their social life, and people just aren't getting married, they aren't having kids. um Actually, I didn't really, I wasn't really on the dating scene at all when I was over there. I was also concentrating on my job and stuff like that. um so yeah, I know they're trying to make it easier for foreigners to actually have a life in Japan and get a job, have rights and stuff like that. Um, make it easier to get like what is it called? Get nationalized, I guess. Get your
Oh wow.
permanent residency. That's what it was called, permanent residency.
Okay.
Because before it take like you have to be living in Japan for 10 years, like in a row at least. You have to have all these qualifications to even get be eligible for permanent residency. So
Wow.
I know they're working on that as well to make it easier. Because yeah, if things continue on the path that they're on right now, like the birth rate's just going to keep getting lower and lower, and they're just not going to have enough people to fill all the roles that they need to keep society moving.
Yeah. Actually, talking about it, I got a really good friend of mine. He's trying to look to buy houses in Japan. And there's literally ghost towns, like the little, little neck of the wood towns. They're completely empty, and the houses are basically free. So you have to basically buy it and go there and get it. So we were just talking about it 2 days ago, because I said to him, "Hey, I'm talking to Chris from the Japanese embassy." The guy got excited. "Oh shit! Ask him about the housing and all that." Yeah, I'll ask him all that. So I'm pretty sure he will hear the podcast. But probably you saw that, right?
Yeah,
the empty towns.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, pretty much like people are moving from these small towns to the big cities. That's where the jobs are. But also like the government's trying to incentivize people to go back to those towns to, kind of bring them back up. Because I mean, like you said, those Akiya, these empty homes are just sitting there, like, maybe it's like a house kind of passed down generation to generation, but the parents pass it down to their kid, but their kid wants to go to Tokyo, so like it just sits there unused. And there's actually quite a few like YouTubers that have videos of them restoring these empty houses, which is really cool. I like there's a few that I follow that I like seeing their progress, and it's definitely kind of crossed my mind before, like, do I want to try to do that? Go back over there, because I mean it takes a lot of money sometimes for the renovations, but if you can buy the land dirt cheap, then you'll still make up for it in the end. Like it'll still be cheaper than trying to buy a house in the U.S.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like
So
100%. I hear you, man.
Yeah.
Especially in Miami and Orlando.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah.
Especially Miami.
Yeah. So yeah, there are like yeah, there are things that the government's doing right now to try to repopulate those ghost towns.
Okay,
How
no,
long it'll
that's
take to
good.
do that is still up in the air,
Who
but
knows?
yeah.
Yeah, because it's a long trip. Even if you want to go, you I mean, once you take the decision, going there for a long time. Coming back in a while. So it takes a lot of commitment to just to go there and do the housing. Anything you want to do in Japan will take a while just to
For
do
sure.
it right.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially the way they over
yeah,
there.
and you got bureaucracy and everything has to be
Oh yeah.
done in just a certain way. So there's a lot of red tape to get through. Also,
Yes, I saw that too, and a lot of YouTube channels that I watch, and that it's a lot of bureaucracy in Japan, and they're still using paper to clock in and clock out, like which that to me is insane, and a lot of cash, like bills. Like
oh
I
yeah,
thought Japan would be on the top of the list on technology, and it's like, what happened? So I don't
yeah,
know. That's crazy to me. That's insane, especially coming from Japan.
yeah. I mean, daily life is all about faxing and keeping paper copies of everything, and cash is king. Which is, if you're just looking at Japan from the outside, knowing nothing about how things really work, then you'd think that everything is happening in 2030 or 2040 in Japan, whereas everyone else is still in 2023. But it's far from
Yeah,
that.
so true. like they got I saw the other day, like a nurse. They build like a robot that go to a nursing home or take care of the elderly because they don't have that many nurses anymore.
Yeah,
And the firefighter side, they got like automatic machines that go put the fire down, and the trucks are smaller, like way smaller, look like a minivan. The fire
yeah.
trucks,
Yeah,
just because the way they are. I mean, it's so small.
yeah. I mean, and when I was over there, like I was, one day I remember going in for like a doctor's visit, and there was a robot that I would essentially like put my information in to check in to the hospital, and they have the same thing for like sushi restaurant. There'd be a robot that you would go to say, how many people are coming? Do you want a booth or a table? And it would spit out a number and just wait for them to call you, rather than an actual, a live person to
Person.
do it for you. So
Wow,
that's kind of
I
cool.
guess adapt and overcome. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool. I guess
yeah.
that's a max adapt overcome. And how's the if let's say my family 4 people, wife, kids want to go to Japan? How much money do we need to spend like a week?
Oh man.
Kind of, or and I know
mean,
it's hard because Tokyo is different than the little towns and Kyoto.
yeah.
But
Well, I mean, first
I
of
don't
all,
know.
like if you're gonna go to Japan, I would say at least 2 weeks. Because like especially a week, like you got at least a day um, to recover from the jet lag, and
Hmm.
then another day is going to be kind of dedicated to getting your stuff and going to the airport and waiting for the flight. So personally, if I'm going, I'm going to go for at least 2 weeks. But that being said, thankfully now the exchange rate is like super favorable for Americans, so you can
Okay.
like you can go over for a lot less than you would, uh, when the yen was stronger. So, I mean, it's been a while since I've had to actually pay for a flight to Japan,
To Japan.
because
I bet.
going over there originally was free. It's part of the
Yeah,
program.
part of, yeah.
I mean, maybe like 1,500 for a round trip flight for one person.
Gotcha.
And that'll depend on the time of year. Like
Yeah.
the certain time of years are obviously less crowded than others, so
Cheaper.
you might find some better, some cheaper flights. But once you're over there, so if I was going by myself, I would probably, I mean, I'd probably want to have like $1,000 just in case.
Okay. Wow, that's
Yeah, I mean, because if you want to take the train, like the Shinkansen, the bullet train, that can get kind of expensive. I mean, if you just want to, like, if you're staying in Tokyo and you want to do everything in that area, you can do it for a lot cheaper. But I never know if I'm gonna walk into a store and see this awesome piece of technology that I want to buy, or
yeah.
I'm a big
Piece of
foodie,
art.
so yeah, I'd be spending a lot of
Oh,
money
okay.
on restaurants and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So I would probably want to bring that much money. I mean, and bringing $1,000 is like having $1,500 honestly when you convert it to yen. So
Oh,
you're going to
wow.
get a lot more bang for your
Yeah.
purchases. So that's a great opportunity to really kind of buy just goods cheaper than you would be able to in the U.S. You know, go over
Oh,
there
I
and
bet.
you go for vacation, but you also kind of get a deal on whatever you want to buy and take back home with you, whether it's electronics or some I don't know, some cool artwork
Yeah.
or
Anything.
whatever,
A
anything.
tattoo, bro.
A tattoo,
I
there
will
you
get a
go.
tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And you don't have to pay for, you don't have to tip the tattoo artist because they don't do tips in Japan. So
Oh, you don't?
yeah, I know.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's like Europe. When I went there, they don't
Yeah,
tip. You don't tip in Europe, at least if you really
exactly.
want to, but they don't expecting you to tip at all.
Yeah. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. So also for the
Yeah.
food, you get a lot more bang for your buck when it comes to
Oh yeah.
eating out. Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool. And do you have a chance to sleep in one of those I think it's one room hotel with a capsule? You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking
capsule
about?
hotels. Yeah.
The capsule. Do you have a chance to sleep in one of those? Or how that's experience? If you
Yeah,
have a
I did
chance to
that.
do it.
I did it a couple times. Usually I would stay in like hostels. I was always looking for the cheapest way to
Yeah.
stay in the town when I was on vacation. But yeah, I did do a couple capsule hotels. And like as a big guy, a big Western guy, I was kind of
Yeah.
skeptical. But the two that I went to, like there was plenty of space for me. They
Oh.
had like a little shelf in there you can put your stuff on. They had like a small TV, a clock, an alarm, some plugs, some outlets you can plug in your cell phone or whatever, and yeah, lockers, bathroom, showers, all that stuff. So I mean, I didn't feel like claustrophobic or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm 6'2" and I'm 250, so I'm a big dude, especially in
Yeah.
Japan and Asia. I
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, everybody looking at me.
Yeah.
So,
So like if I was in the capsule, I couldn't sit up, but just laying
okay,
down, there was plenty of room above me, and like I just slide right out and get out if I needed to make a quick exit.
got it. What is the most expensive thing in Japan? Could be the food, the hotel, the car. What could be the most expensive thing that when you go there?
I mean, just as a visitor,
Or
I would
transportation,
say,
I guess.
yeah, like I was saying, the bullet train can get kind of expensive, like more expensive than taking a flight.
Oh
And
shit.
you've got kind of the luxury ones as well. Like you can get a luxury room and take a week just to do kind of a scenic train ride from one end of Japan to the other, which I do want to do at some point. That seems like a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet.
So yeah, but that can get pretty expensive, especially one of the longer kind of, I guess, pleasure cruise version of the train rides.
Oh yeah, I bet, man.
Yeah, I guess that's really like, and obviously if you want to buy, electronics or stuff like that, it's going to get pretty pricey. But
No, I bet.
yeah,
So, yeah, for sure. And what is the thing that you miss the most about Japan? Being here, what, 3 years in the States?
yeah,
Since you came back?
yeah. The thing I miss, honestly, like I miss how quiet it was and how like respectful people were of the people around them.
Okay.
So like if you go on the train, nobody's talking, nobody's making a ruckus, no one's eating or drinking. It's just like, do your own thing, maybe play a cell phone game or read a book or something. But like everyone is super respectful of like no noise pollution, that kind of stuff. You go to a cafe or something, and that was one thing that kind of gave me some reverse culture shock when I came back. Was I'd go to a cafe and like to get some studying done while I was there, and like it would be so quiet. Like you'd never get that kind of real ambiance back in the States, because you'll have people kind of carrying on or talking really loud or playing their music out loud, and that really like took some getting used to when I got back to the States. So yeah, I think that's one of the big things that I miss that kind of was obvious kind of every day.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I mean, it sucks for us because we look like savages, but
right.
But it's true though. That's that thing that is difficult. When I was in Italy, it's so loud when you go to a coffee place.
Yeah,
because they throw the coffees and people speaking and there's yelling up back and forth. But yeah, I can see that how you miss that part. And what do you recommend places to go? Like top 3 places to go in Japan?
Let's see, top 3 places. So I didn't get to travel to too many places when I was there, because I always favored Osaka when I was going to travel, because just like I think that's my favorite city in Japan, honestly. But okay, here's one place. So there's and it's kind of hard to get to if you don't have like a car or something, but it's called like the Doll Village. So there's like very few people who live there, but there's like and not so when I say doll, I mean like kind of if you know like Raggedy Ann or Andy, that kind of doll.
Yeah.
But like more like life size.
Oh.
So they're everywhere in the city. It can be kind of creepy if you're like alone or going at night. But essentially, like this woman who lives there, like made doll versions of the previous like inhabitants. So a friend and I went there because my friend had a car, and so I kind of tagged along. And they were like, we went to the school that had like life-size doll versions of all the students. And
shit, that's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. We went like during the daytime, so the creepiness factor was kind of toned down a little bit. But we actually we met the lady who had made all these, and she invited us. Yeah, she invited us into her house, and which we accepted, because why not? And so she had like a bunch of dolls in her house as well. I think it was I think she also had a doll of Trump and Melania as well in her house.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, and like, I mean, if you Google like Doll Village Japan, you'll find it. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah. So I would recommend just where else you're going to find a place like that in the world, really.
It's only in Japan.
Yeah.
Only in Japan.
I mean, I guess I got to plug my own town, so please come to Kochi. We've got like great, because it's on the ocean, so you've got like great seafood, and you've got you've got the mountains to one side, you've got the ocean to the other side, you've got the city in the middle. So like no matter what you like, you can find something that kind of matches, whether you like the city or the outdoors or the sea or the mountains. Yeah. So yeah, come to Kochi, please. And let's see, third place. I mean, I guess Osaka, really. Just because I think they've got a really good food scene over there as well. I think the nightlife is pretty awesome, even though I'm not really a partier or a nightlife kind of guy myself.
Yeah, me either.
And
cool for that, and I'm done with that long time
exactly.
ago.
So, like, Tokyo is more kind of business. Everyone's more serious over there, but Osaka's like more laid back.
Okay.
A lot of like the famous comedians come from Osaka too. So yeah, I'd say Osaka, like, and just kind of as a general recommendation, just go down as many side streets and back alleys as you can, because you'll find some really awesome stuff over there.
Oh, really?
Like whether it's a bar or like a small ramen shop. There's just so many hidden treasures that you're not going to find unless you really just go in every nook and cranny and see what you can find that's kind of off the beaten path.
Nice. Yeah, definitely I'll take your advice because hopefully this not be is the first podcast that we do, but hopefully it's the first of many because it's really interesting. This is awesome, man. I always say that traveling is fuel for your soul because it opens your mind for so many things and it make you like change the way you see things when you come back. You appreciate more what you have.
Yeah, for sure.
And going to places that maybe you don't need a car. When you come back to the US, you got pickup truck and all the stuff. Like, I don't need it.
Right.
Why I need a pickup truck? Why I need this? Why I need that? So it changed a lot. And it changed me over the years. I actually went to the jungle in Amazon to 6 months working as a paramedic.
Oh, wow.
I imagine you in the army going to places that you never expected. So is traveling to me is a fuel for your soul to help your mental health, to help with your stress, anxiety, and going to new places, especially if they don't speak the language, culture. To me, that's better than buying anything else in the world.
Oh yeah, experiences trump physical possessions any day of the week.
Yeah. I got a question. Probably people wondering, how do you, this is more about the embassy role, but how do you get into that program? If a guy in college says, hey, you know what, I want to try that. How do they contact you, or which website they can go? Or what do you recommend for that?
Okay, yeah. I mean, so the only thing you need is to be like a U.S. citizen, and then just have a bachelor's degree. So it doesn't matter what it's in. It could be like English or Japanese or whatever, but it could also be biology or computer science. As long as you have the piece of paper, is all that matters.
Okay.
But yeah, just reach out to your local consulate, and you can see online which consulate is kind of your jurisdiction, and just call them and either call them or email them and say hey, I'm interested in doing the JET program, and can you give me some information or whatever. You can also just go to what's jetprogramusa.org, and that has all the basic info for you as well.
Okay.
But yeah, and then the important thing is the timing, because you don't want to call them up or whatever and realize, oh, this is the last week of the application window, or it's already passed. So yeah, end of September is when applications open. So that's kind of the best time to actually I would say even reach out even earlier, because you can't prepare too early. Either you can take some Japanese classes, you can get a TEFL or TESOL, a certificate that shows that you know how to teach English to non-English speakers. So get some teaching training, or find some ways to get some leadership training, or find a Japanese club or whatever, or organization in your town you can kind of participate in. But yeah, really just going online or calling up your local embassy or local consulate rather is the easiest way.
Got it.
To get info. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in Florida will be Miami, right? Because I don't
Miami
think we have a consulate in Orlando.
Florida. Yeah, some consulates do they have more than one state that they're responsible for. But yeah, Florida it's Miami. We do all of Florida.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so people may be interested, whoever's listening, that's kind of the steps you have to go through, and hopefully you can accomplish your dreams and go to Japan and spend minimum a year, 2 years, I guess, or maximum 5. I know, maximum 5.
Yeah, contracts are at a year basis, but I always say unless you break the law, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to renew your contract for up to 5 years. But you can do as little as 1 if you want to.
As long as you don't be stupid. That's the main That's the advice. Don't be stupid.
Exactly.
You got it.
Yeah. Take advantage of your time, but don't do anything dumb.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't get in trouble. Just enjoy life. enjoy another culture, and maybe you come back and maybe you move over there. Who knows? Who knows where life take you?
Yeah, make some money, make some experiences, but just have a good time. Go over there with an open mind.
Yeah, open mind, man. And before we finalize, because it's almost an hour. See, I told you, it passed fast.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, it does.
You didn't even notice. What advice? I got two things. What advice you give to people before go to Japan? Since you kind of the expert in that I know now, expert in Japan culture, kind of.
Okay. So definitely try to learn some Japanese, even if it's just the basics, like thank you, where's the bathroom, excuse me.
Okay.
That'll go really far. Thankfully, if you go to the big cities, a lot of the signage will be in English as well as Japanese. But
okay, that helps.
Yeah, there's a bunch of apps you can download to make things easier. I don't know if I'm sure Google Maps would work. There's probably better ones kind of tailored towards Japan if you want to, get the bus schedule or train schedule. Anything like Google Translate or DeepL for trying to communicate with people. And that's I guess the biggest advice for me for just kind of visiting. And definitely I would say have some a few things that you definitely want to do while you're over there, but give yourself enough free time to kind of go out on a whim and take the train a couple more stops to some random place and get out and see what's around, and just don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone, whether it's talking to somebody or eating some food that you're not too sure about, you probably won't like, but you might as well give it a try since it might be your only chance to be able to eat that or drink that. And
exactly. Because
make the most out of.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, make the most out of your time while you're there, because that might be the only time you get to visit Japan.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's so far and expensive.
Right.
That might be it. That might be the only time you go there, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because here we can go to Puerto Rico, Costa Rica. $50 with round trip.
Right.
Or go to wherever. But Japan that's a commitment.
Yeah,
once you decide to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I can't even imagine. And now, who you recommend to come to the podcast and talk about Japan and about the culture? Who do you recommend? And maybe I can pursue that person, hopefully.
Okay. I mean, honestly, this is I don't know how feasible this would be. So I guess one of the kind of most well-known Japan YouTubers / podcasters is a guy named Chris Broad. He does his channel is called Broad in Japan, or Broad in Japan.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I mean, if you can manage to contact him and and get him on, I think he would be a great person to talk to, and he's a really funny guy and very animated. So I think he'd really be a fun guy to talk to.
Awesome. Yeah, I will try. Hey, what also could happen to say no.
Exactly, or he never responds, but yeah.
Hey, at least I try. I'm not Joe Rogan, so I don't have any pressure on it. I'm doing it because I like it, not because they pay me $100 million an episode.
Right, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Might as well try to see what happens.
Exactly. But Chris, thank you so much for the time. I know it's kind of late, but it's Miami, so everything's 24 hours.
Yeah. No worries.
Thank you so much for real, for your time, for everything we've done, and for show a little bit of the Japanese culture coming from your perspective, because it's hard for Japan culture to be exposed like that to people. It's kind of hard. So I'm glad I have a chance to contact you, and hopefully this is just the beginning of many podcasts so we can talk about Japan and everything else that you want. You're more than welcome. Thank you so much, man. Last words, anything you're doing right now or people want to contact you, just if any chance, any questions about Japan or the program that you're running, the jet program.
Yeah, I mean, just if you want to contact me, then you just go on the Miami Japanese Consulate website, and there's like a main number, but you talk to the receptionist and say, I want to talk to the jet program coordinator. I want to talk to Chris, and she'll send you right to me. But yeah, we're working on the next kind of group of jets to go over next year right now.
Nice.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of characters we're gonna have coming through Miami this year.
I can't even imagine. Hey, I would love to make a YouTube video just for you guys. I got a camera and a microphone. I would love to do that. If we can make it happen, I'll go to Miami, especially now with the new bright light train that we have.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait to use that.
My brother did it, and it actually wasn't that bad. It's 3 hours. He paid $89, but it was around 10 o'clock at night, so nobody was on the train.
Okay,
this actually was nice. The Wi-Fi, if you need to do business or whatever, is great.
Sick. Yeah, so, I need to go to Orlando at some point and visit some friends over there too. So,
hey, if you come to Orlando, you have to stop. We can drink some beer or sake.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that sounds like a good idea. I'll try to maybe after winter break, but definitely.
Yeah. You're more than welcome here, bro, and I appreciate it again. Thank you, Chris. I guess we drinking sake when you come to Orlando, or I go to Miami after winter break, and
we'll do it.
Have a great night, and enjoy your day and the weekend. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you so much.